Lions News fan report poses a question that's dominating all NFL discussions. What if the biggest change in the league isn't a trade, but the arrival of a defender with the power to turn the game for any team? Myles Garrett, one of the most imposing figures in recent NFL history, has officially requested to leave the Cleveland Browns, and his decision is already resonating like an earthquake across the league. The impact of this move goes beyond a simple roster change. It could create a new champion, transform the dynamics of entire conferences, and perhaps even change the course of the Super Bowl. The big question is, which franchise is ready to seize this unique opportunity to acquire one of the greatest defensive talents in football? Myles Garrett is not just another defensive player. Since entering the NFL, he has quickly established himself as an unstoppable force, a nightmare for quarterbacks and offenses. His stats speak for themselves. 14 sacks and 40 tackles in the 2023 season, along with being named Defensive Player of the Year, are just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to his impact on the field. Garrett is the cornerstone of the Cleveland Browns defense, and while he has been a key player in recent years, he also found himself trapped on a team that wasn't keeping pace with his potential. The frustrating 3-14 season for Cleveland highlighted that, although Garrett is one of the best defenders in the league, he cannot carry the team alone. What few expected is that Garrett's departure would not just be a personal transition, but a game changer that could shake the power structure within the NFL. The idea that Garrett, in his prime, could be acquired by an up-and-coming team is an exciting prospect for fans across the league. Among the possible destinations, two teams are being widely speculated: the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Dallas Cowboys. The real question, however, is which of these teams, or perhaps another surprise team, will have the vision and capacity to transform Garrett into the final piece to contend for the NFC title. Tampa Bay is one of the most talked about options, and rightfully so. The Buccaneers' defense already features great names like Vita Vea and Levante David, but adding Garrett could be the masterstroke. Not only would it be a technical boost, but also a psychological one for a team in rebuilding mode after Tom Brady's departure. The combination of Garrett with other experienced players could create a virtually impenetrable defense, capable of challenging the best teams in the NFC and perhaps even threatening the Super Bowl. Imagine the pressure Tampa Bay's defensive line would cause with Garrett playing alongside other stars, forming a defense so solid it could be almost impenetrable. It wouldn't just be about the technical impact. Garrett's winning mentality could inspire the entire franchise to take the step necessary to return to the top of the league. Dallas, on the other hand, presents a similarly powerful narrative. Garrett grew up in the Arlington area, and the possibility of returning to his hometown to play for a team that has always been one of the favorites to contend for titles is a strong pull. The Cowboys already have a dominant defensive line, led by Micah Parsons, widely considered one of the best linebackers in the NFL. Pairing Garrett with Parsons would create one of the most feared defensive duos in recent NFL history, capable of giving nightmares to any quarterback. Garrett in Dallas wouldn't just be a reinforcement. He would be the missing piece to ensure the defense becomes the most formidable in the league. Garrett's addition to Dallas could be what the Cowboys need to finally return to glory, potentially capturing the championship that has eluded them for years. But what if the answer to where Garrett should go isn't Tampa Bay or Dallas? Surprises do happen, and one team that has been quietly rising in recent seasons is the Detroit Lions. Detroit's defense has shown significant improvement, but there are still some gaps to fill. Adding a game-changing player like Garrett could be the catalyst needed to transform the team into one of the most feared defenses in the league. With Zadarius Smith and Aiden Hutchinson already established as pillars on the defensive line, Garrett would be the final piece to help make Detroit a legitimate threat in the NFC. Under the leadership of Dan Campbell, the Lions have made great strides, and Garrett's arrival could propel them to the top of the NFC. With a well-balanced roster, including solid veteran quarterback Jared Goff and standout wide receiver Amon-Ra St. Brown, the Lions are a team poised to compete with anyone. Garrett could be the missing player to push them to the next level, making them serious contenders for the NFC title. While Tampa Bay, Dallas, and Detroit are the most commonly discussed options, other possibilities shouldn't be ruled out. History shows that teams like the San Francisco 49ers, known for their relentless defense, could very well add Garrett to their roster to make their defense even more overpowering. Kyle Shanahan's team is always in the Super Bowl hunt, and Garrett could be the missing piece needed to finally secure that elusive championship. Similarly, the Philadelphia Eagles, with their balanced team and strong defense, could be another intriguing destination for Garrett. They are already positioned as a Super Bowl contender, and Garrett's arrival would only strengthen their chances to finally win the big game after years of consistency. However, one aspect that cannot be overlooked is the psychological impact Garrett would bring to any team. His presence on the field is so dominant that it can change the dynamics of a game the moment he steps on it. This doesn't just inspire his teammates, but also intimidates opposing teams who know what he is capable of. Players with this kind of game-changing impact are rare, and throughout NFL history, we've seen how the addition of a defensive star can completely alter the trajectory of a season. Speaking of team dynamics, Garrett's arrival at a team like the Dallas Cowboys or the San Francisco 49ers could have an impact beyond just the field. For a franchise like the Cowboys, which is always in the spotlight, adding Garrett could elevate the team's profile even further, making them a major Super Bowl favorite in the media and public eye. The marketing and expectations surrounding the team would increase, but Garrett has the ability to handle that pressure and turn those expectations into motivation to win it all. The same goes for the Eagles and the 49ers, who would benefit not only from his skill, but also from the aura of greatness that Garrett carries with him. Regardless of where Garrett chooses to go, one thing is certain: he will be a key player in the future of any franchise. His decision will change how the NFL is played and could determine the Super Bowl winner in the coming years. The teams that secure his services won't just be acquiring an elite defender. They will be gaining a transformative force capable of changing the destiny of an entire team. The big question remains: which of these teams, or perhaps even a surprise contender, will Garrett choose? The impact of his arrival is not just about what he can bring in terms of technical skills and stats. He is a player who can change the course of any franchise, not just with his ability to pressure the opposing quarterback, but with the winning mentality he brings. Garrett could be the missing piece that helps a team reach its maximum potential and finally win the championship. This move of Garrett's will undoubtedly be one of the biggest moments of the season. The NFL will never be the same after this game-changing player moves. And the big question remains: where will Garrett shine next? Which team will he help redefine the future of the league? Share your thoughts in the comments and join the conversation about the future